morning, everybody. Early riser coming at you again. Sunday, February the 11th. Just thought we'd take some time. Oh, Bearded Servant, this is for you. I just heard you call me out saying that I had switched my modes of filming to copy the Bearded Servant. Need I remind you of this? Hey YouTubers, it is Early Riser 7-1 coming at you. It's the day after Thanksgiving. Feeling a little bit fat probably. Morning Early Risers. Hey, it's 5:10. It is the 28th of December. Tuesday. Correction, now it's Wednesday already. Wow. All right, y'all. In Jasper, Georgia. Made it to my dad's house. Man, what a challenging day it was today. Anyway, everything. Nah, in all full disclosure, you know, when you get busy at work, I keep meaning to do things when I get home and to film some vlogs, and I just never have time. So yeah, watching Bearded Servant especially, man, what a great use of time to just do it either going to or coming from work or to the store or somewhere else. So able to combine a couple of things. So yeah, Bearded Servant, I would say yes, even though I had done a few of these before, you did give me the idea to make better use of my time and get some vlogs out there. So with all that said, I just wanted to bring a couple of lessons learned that I've taken away from Scoutmaster on the AT. Up to this point, he is waking up in the knock this morning, and he is starting what I remember as a hellacious climb out of the knock. Hopefully, you know, that was in the middle of my day when I started. Hopefully him being fully rested and got to stay in the very expensive bunkhouse last night, but man, that's just the way it is. It's better than being in the rain, like he said. Just want to take some time and pass along what I see are some major lessons learned from his hike so far, the first 12 days, that everybody else can hopefully take something away from too. First and foremost, he's going at his own pace. He's averaging, I'm guessing, probably about 10 to 12 miles right now, and his body, he says, is feeling good, which will lead me to my next point in just a second. But that's good. He is doing it his way, and his body's feeling good, and he's still resisting the temptation to try to bust a 20 or something. He did bust a 15 either yesterday or the day before, I think, which is really good mileage. Well done, Scoutmaster. But yeah, that's the takeaway, folks, is to do it your way. Just because other people make it to Gooch Gap the first night or somewhere else doesn't mean that that's success in your world. So don't try to define that. I hear most of you saying that you know, just making it maybe to Hog Mountain if you're starting at Springer, or just making it to Springer if you're starting the approach trail, are all good options for the first day. So keep that in mind. Those of you who are able to go farther, Gooch Gap is it's a good shelter to stop at. And if you want to keep going a couple more miles like I did, Gooch Gap, where you cross over the road right there is some amazing camp spots right there. I'll tell you, that's one of the better night sleeps. Maybe not sound sleep because I was so hyped up about being on the trail, but comfort wise, the grass and the little woods right there were awesome. So keep that in mind. Another lesson learned, and you guys know I'm going to go there because I fully believe in active recovery, but I am convinced that the Scoutmaster feels so good. His legs are doing good and his feet are doing good because they're all tied together, because he's using his rolling stick and he rolls those muscles out every night. Again, I cannot harp on this enough, and I know people doesn't want to carry the extra 6 ounces of that stick. And man, who was it? Engineer? I'll have to go back and look, but shout out to him who cut his rolling stick down and made it even lighter. The only thing I would caution is you still got to be able to get a lot of pressure, especially when you're up underneath your leg pulling up to do your hamstring. So you want to keep your rolling stick, if you make modifications, long enough to where you can still get enough pressure to get the knots out of your hamstrings. But I think Scoutmaster, if he keeps up what he's doing right now and increasing his mileage slowly and keep his muscles rolled out, nothing's going to stop that guy. So that's impressive, Scoutmaster. Those are mature decisions that are that have proven success 12 days into it. Because a lot of people, and 12 days into it, a lot of people are already off the trail, or they're hurting severely because they're not doing things like active recovery. Something else that he's doing fabulous, that I applaud him for, is he hit some patchy spots of ice. And as soon as I saw the trail, like he showed the trail first, how much ice were on the rocks and whatnot. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, man. He's probably going to be like the rest of us and just too lazy, or think you don't need the spikes and just try to walk over it. And I busted my butt many times. Roan Mountain was one of them. I should have had my spikes on. I'd already got rid of them. Busted my butt, twisted my knee a couple of times during that. Probably didn't even mention that on the video. But he shows his feet and he's got his spikes on. Well done. I told him.
All right, everybody, here we are. It's about 11 o'clock. That's what I'm looking at. We're heading downhill for about a mile. And this is what we got. That's ice. So, notice, got the crampons on.
I told him in my comments this morning, those mature decisions right there, those are going to keep him on the trail. And those are the immature decisions that most of the rest of us make, i.e. this guy right here, that almost got taken off the trail because I was too lazy or had not valued keeping those spikes with me long enough. So please, all you people that are going to start early in chances of ice, not only should you be carrying micro spikes, in Early Riser's opinion, you should also be willing to stop and put those things on when needed. You can walk on regular ground, so you don't have to keep taking them on and off. When you hit an ice patch, put them on, and when you take them, when you hit just regular ground, take them off. You can leave them on for a while. I hiked in the whites. I hiked with my stabilizers on all day long at times, because even going on the downhills, you got to be careful because you're getting such good traction that a lot of times your feet won't give when you think they're going to, and that caused me to bust my face a couple of times too, coming down, especially Moosilauke. And just a quick side note, what an embarrassing story. I had made it down the worst parts of Moosilauke. And if y'all go back and watch that video, you'll remember I was talking about some hikers that were coming up the north side of Moosilauke to go camping. And I told them that, my God, man, that was some of the worst hiking where the shelter was at coming down Moosilauke. That was some of the worst ice I've ever encountered in my life, treacherous-wise. But before they got up to me, I was still had my stabilizers on. I was all big and bad coming down the trail. Here comes the through hiker, Early Riser, gonna, strut past them like I'm something cool. And one of my spikes held firm coming down a steep incline, and I fell right on my face, almost busted my face on a rock, and I was like 10 yards from him. So the big bad Early Riser turned into the highly embarrassed, wanting to get away from him as quickly as possible Early Riser. So you got to be careful with those spikes, but the bottom line is put them on and make sure you have them if you need them. All right, sorry, long-winded there. A couple of more, or maybe another thing that I noticed Scoutmaster doing that I really appreciate is, he's staying in his tent at first. I think he was like me, thinking that, man, I'll avoid shelters when at all possible. But like he said in his video, man, rigid flexibility is key. So it's going to rain at night. He said, to hell with it, I'll stay in the shelter, him and Santa. And then he found out that, hey, man, shelter life isn't that bad. And it's not that bad. And he's pretty much alone other than Santa, so he's already made a pretty close relationship. So he's using that in his thought process and his decision-making matrix. And he stayed in the shelter. And he's also, I wish I would have done this. Oh my God, it gets blowback. So Scoutmaster, I think from what I've seen so far, nobody's pushed back on you, but just know as your channel grows, so does the critiques, which is fine. But leaving out a little bit of food for the rats, or the mice, pretty good idea, because it keeps them busy all night. And let me tell you, those jokers are going to find food anyway. So all the people that are saying, don't feed the animals at the shelters, don't feed the mice. folks, the mice are going to get theirs regardless. There's going to be hundreds of or thousands of people coming through that shelter. The mice aren't going anywhere. So I would tell you that Scoutmaster's little technique to leave a little bit of food out in the foyer of the shelter, the overhang, pretty ingenious, and I wish I had done that as well. That was pretty smart. And maybe the last thing, and this is the germaphobe early riser talking about this piece. He hasn't stayed in a hostel yet. And I think, to be honest with you, that's a pretty smart move. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get sick from a hotel room too. And what I always do, as soon as I get into any hotel room, is I take out my hand sanitizer bottle, I get a Kleenex or two. Never the top one, because that's the one that all the maids have touched. I'll throw that one away instantly, then grab the next 2 or 3 Kleenexes, coat those things in some hand sanitizer, and I wipe everything down, i.e. the commode seat, the remote control, not in that order. The commode seat will usually be last. So the remote control, the door handles, anything that I'm going to touch more than once or twice, I try to wipe those things down. Now, just know that some of these viruses are closed-celled viruses, meaning the norovirus, from what I've read and heard, is a closed-cell virus, meaning the hand sanitizer isn't going to get inside of it and kill it. So you still got to be careful with those things. Wash your hands generously, and really, you're not going to kill it with the antibacterial soap. Really, you're trying to wash long enough to wash those germs off of your hands. So keep that in mind as you're washing too. Longer the better. I'm not a doctor, so take that with a grain of salt. So staying in those hotels like he's doing, though, not necessarily going to keep you from getting sick, but there's a heck of a lot better probability that you can stay healthy doing it his way right now. Because wintertime and hostels, and I lived it, are disease traps. So keep that in mind, and I'm not trying to take any business away from the hostels. I think as the weather warms up in March and April, hopefully he'll go try it, and just to overcome maybe that fear of them. And I'm not saying he has a fear of them, but I see a lot of myself in Scoutmaster, and you just want to get away from people and have your own space in the hotel room. But I'd also offer that some of my favorite stays in town were at hostels, just because I got to have some conversations with some people that I would have never met had I not gone to the hostel. So that isn't a critique on him. I like the way he's doing it. I think it's smart right now. Yeah, that's about it. All right, I'm filming on my Galaxy S8 right now, but I just got a GoPro 6 Hero Black, and I am freaking loving that thing. I have since bought a mic to go with it, bought an aluminum case. I have been doing some time-lapse videos already. I'll put a little clip of that here at the end. Loving that thing. It has its drawbacks too, but I'll tell you, if you buy a mic for it, what I'm finding out right now is that it is a beast when it comes to vlogging. Not saying it's the best choice, but you know, the waterproofness of it, its ability. If you have not seen a YouTube video or the capabilities of that thing when it comes to stabilization, it's unreal. It is unbelievable how good the stabilization looks on that camera. So anyway, I'm not trying to sell a GoPro to you, just saying I'm excited about it, and hopefully some of my upcoming hiking vlogs after I get done with my busy season here at work will be shot using that GoPro, and I'll get some good video. All right, y'all, people are starting. If you look down in my description down below, send a link or give you the link again to my Excel spreadsheet that's on Google Docs, and the Word document that has everybody's link as well. These things are outdated, man. They're like mid-January is the last time. There's a lot of dates and information missing on the spreadsheet, but hey, it is what it is at this point. But it is sorted by start date for the people that I have their start dates. So take a look at those items. Click subscribe on these folks' channel, because now it's really important for them to be able to monetize and either make some money for their hike or make some money for charity. So help these folks out, man. And probation termination and bearded servant, that video yesterday cracked me up. Well done. There are so many people out there that are starting this week. It's hard to name them all, but the people who are already out there that I suggest, if you're not watching them, you're missing out. Intrepidan, that guy, his videos are killing me, man. Like, I am rolling physically. My stomach hurts at times from watching his videos. So shout out to you, Intrepidan, and to The lady doing his videos, who's taking the footage and turning that into just some masterpieces. So well done, man. Really good. There's many others out there vlogging right now, and I'll put those in the description below. All right, y'all. Hope everybody's having a good February the 11th. Valentine's Day's coming up. Make sure you take care of those special to you. And early riser, heading to Walmart. Deuces.